Hello, my name is Kerrioth, and today we are going to take a look at the new plastic Spartan. Before we get into it, apologies for the lack of videos over the last week or so. I've been ill again. Look, the thing is, my children are magnets for disease and plague and illness, and they bring it all home to me, and then I get it, and it's just bad times all round. This is the first of 2 videos today. I urge you to check out the next one, which will be out in a couple of hours, because it's about a new game, Masters of the Universe Battlegrounds, and I decided to try and make He-Man grim and gritty and dark and covered in blood, because that's just what happens around here. I had a lot of fun, actually. It'd be worth checking that out. Anyway, before that, we have a new Heresy Thursday. The name still needs work, but I like it. I like it because it's full of heresy, and it's all plastic heresy, and that is, in my opinion, a good thing. Anything that makes this more accessible, I mean, for the love of God, the lack of easy entry into the heresy has been so bad for so long, but they're fixing it, and they're fixing it at a rate of knots, and that is definitely, unquestionably a good thing. So, latest thing, we've got the plastic Spartan, right? That is... I'm just taking it in. It looks fantastic. I mean, the Spartan already looked great. It's already a great looking tank, and they've just made it again, but in a easier to work with material that is cheaper to buy. What more could you possibly want out of this? I mean, yeah, it is the Spartan again, except it's way more accessible to literally everybody. And also, I'm assuming this will be because it's plastic, and since they are revamping so much of the Heresy range, I'm assuming that this is going to be something that will be available from like third-party retailers. So if you get it from somewhere like Element Games, which I have an affiliate link with, but you already know that, so I'll stop doing that. This will be way cheaper than buying it in resin. I mean, the resin one, I believe, was about the same as the Typhon. Now, I do have the Typhon up for a bit of quick comparison. The Typhon is 127 quid, 127.50, which is, I believe, more than it was. Oh, of course, price rises. I'm pretty sure this has gone up as well, because I don't believe I paid that for mine. But we can do like a little cheeky comparison, because the chassis is pretty much the same between the Typhon and the Spartan. And, I mean, look, it's grand, it's great. There's really nothing to complain about here. I think there are some small, subtle differences between this one and the resin one, but really, just as a kit, this looks absolutely fine. It looks great. I would hope that actually maybe, given the similarities, I mean, if you look at the side panel is like the main thing. The sides of these things are pretty much exactly the same. There's very little difference. It would be nice if, at some point, the Typhon was changed. Like, the Typhon became like an upgrade sprue. Or like, they reworked it so that the Typhon parts were just something you could buy separate to then stick onto your plastic Spartan. That would be a really cool thing to do, because that would bring the Typhon down in price. Of course, that would make it far more accessible as well. And since they are based off pretty much the same chassis, I mean, it makes sense to do it. I don't know how likely that is, but I guess that's just a personal wish list thing, because I love this tank. It's great. But yeah, this looks fantastic. I mean, what else could you want from it? It is literally just a remake of a resin model, but in plastic. I much prefer working with plastic. I find it far easier to clean up, far easier to work with, far easier to paint. Literally every part of it is more pleasant in my experience than resin. I don't mind resin. I've got plenty of resin models, but yeah, it's just so much more accessible. So, as they say, it's got a bunch of transport capacity. There's 26 moons you can fit in there, or 13 Terminators. Also got 8 las cannons in 2 quad-linked arrays, which is mental. And something that I actually really like about this, a really nice detail right here. That marine on top. That is not a beaky. You can clearly see that's not a beaky. That's genuinely quite a nice detail to be on there. Because I think a lot of the concern that I've seen about this box that's coming out is that it's all beakies, right? And there's kind of questions as to just how prevalent that armor was, even in the late Heresy, and does it not run the risk of there being lots of games where you've got like a mirror matchup in terms of armor marks, which I think is legitimate concerns. If you're into the Heresy for like the accuracy of it to the books and stuff, then I can see why that would be a concern. This is not a beaky in the top of here. They've not gone for that, and that I quite like that. I quite like that detail. So you can swap out the heavy bolters for extra las cannons. Why would... I mean, I'd do it. I was about to say, why would you do that? I'd absolutely do that. That's hilarious. Or ward off hostile infantry with heavy flamers. And there's more options in terms of the gunner's hatch with pintle-mounted weapons ranging from combi Volkites to Havoc launchers. Awesome. Oh, I do like that. I do like that pintle-mounted heavy bolter. That looks cool. That looks great. I'm actually not 100% familiar with what you got in terms of the resin version from Forge World. Have to admit, I never got the Forge World one, so I don't know what extra options there were for that one, or whether this has been expanded on because it's now in plastic, whether they've expanded the options that are available in terms of pintle mounted and in that little turret at the front. But yeah, I like this a lot. I like it. Why? If you like the Spartan, you're gonna like this. I think that's all there is to it, really, isn't there? Overall, this is solid. It's solid. It's a plastic Spartan. It was gonna be a winner no matter what. They've done a good job with it. It looks pretty much exactly the same as the old one from what I can tell. Maybe a couple of differences here and there. And yeah, just easier to work with, cheaper to buy, more accessible all round. Just a winner. An absolute winner. So there we go. Let me know what you think of this in the comments down below. Are you liking the look of it? Think they've done a decent job shifting from resin to plastic? Let me know what you think. In the meantime, feel free to click all the things, Patreon, video, subscribe, all that stuff. Click it if you like, don't click if you don't want to. And as always, there's an affiliate link in the description for Games, which you can use to support the channel if you would like. I leave it in your capable hands. Thank you very much for watching. Roll out.